Hey, what's up guys, Matt here. So now we have all the details on the Apple Watch, and there's a lot of hype going on around it and a lot of hate going on with it as well. But in this video, I want to give you my top 5 reasons why you should not buy the Apple Watch, at least not right now. So I want to keep this list as objective as possible. So things like the way it looks and the price, I'm going to try to leave out of this. Because what I think looks good might not be what you think looks good, and the amount of things I can afford might not be what you can afford, or vice versa, probably vice versa. But I want to leave that out of this list and just give you some details to help you decide whether or not the Apple Watch is right for you. So first off, and I think least important, but still something to consider, is the battery life. It said to last 18 hours, which seems pretty good, but of course with a device like this, it can vary widely just depending on how you use it. So if you use it a lot, it can get maybe 2-3 hours of use out of it, but if you don't touch it, it could last maybe 3 days. It really just depends on how you use it. But with that 18-hour rating, you're probably going to have to charge it every single night. So if batteries and charging things is just something you don't want to deal with, then this is definitely a thing that you should probably stay away from. Now next up, and I think second least important and pretty obvious, is that it only works with iPhones. Now of course it's an Apple product, so it's to be expected that it's only going to work with other Apple products, but it's probably never going to work with other platforms like Android or Windows Phone. So if you're someone who might see yourself switching to that in a few years, this is definitely something you're not going to want to invest in, because when you do make the switch, or if you do make the switch, you're not going to be able to take this with you. And that's a pretty big investment to put in something that is just not going to be useful to you in a little while. Next up is that this is a first generation product, and with first generation products comes bugs and possible hardware issues, and if you're an early adopter, you're going to have to deal with those. Things like the screen, the digital crown, the battery, the build itself, the software, all these things could have issues if it doesn't come out the way Apple intended it to, and we all know that Apple does make mistakes, so if you're an early adopter, this is just going to be something you have to deal with, and it's a reason to wait with getting the Apple Watch. Now let's get to 2 points that I think are most important and are really the main reason why I decided to make this video. The first is that smartwatches are in their infancy and we really don't know if they're going to go anywhere or if they're going to be successful. Take the first generation iPhone. A lot of people didn't think it was going to be a success. It was expensive, it didn't really do all that much compared to other phones, just it did it in a pretty way, and people just really didn't think it was going to be that much of a success, but give it a few years and it was pretty clear that it was, and it's pretty much changed the entire world. The same thing might happen with smartwatches, and the same thing might not happen with smartwatches. But the thing is, you're not really missing out, and if it does become the next big thing, then when it does, you can just buy it then, and you're not really missing out until then. So this is a reason to wait and just not jump on the bandwagon just quite yet. The last reason is the price, but not exactly in the way you might think. The Apple Watch is more expensive than pretty much all the other competition, and for that price, you're paying for something that you might not know you even like. My suggestion would be to start out with a cheaper smartwatch like a Pebble, because with this you're not spending a ton of money on something that you're not sure you're gonna like. Switching over to wearing a watch is a big transition, especially if you don't wear them. And wearing a smartwatch that's constantly buzzing on your wrist is something that you're definitely gonna have to get used to. And it might be something you just don't want to have anything to do with. So throwing down the money to get an Apple Watch when you don't know if you're even gonna like it, I think is not the best decision in the world. So getting a Pebble or something else that's in that price range that you can go ahead and just test the waters with and see if you actually like this, I think is a good way to start off instead of just jumping right into the most expensive and fanciest one out there. I think the biggest problem with smartwatches is that it's really hard to explain why you would want it when they pretty much do the same thing that your phone does. It's hard to explain, and you kind of have to use them to actually realize why they could be beneficial in your life. And because of that fact, I do think it's wise to start out with a cheaper option just to see if you'll like it. I know that I never used to wear a watch, but then I started wearing smartwatches, and now it feels really weird not to wear them, and I really miss them when I don't have them. So I think that if you start off small, just get used to them, then you can go ahead and decide if the Apple Watch is right for you. So those are my top 5 reasons why you shouldn't buy the Apple Watch, at least right now. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any other reasons why you shouldn't buy them. I'd really be interested to hear those. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you guys hit subscribe so you can see when I upload new videos like this, and hit that thumbs up so I know that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys follow me on Snapchat and Twitter just so you can stay in touch and see what I'm up to and see what videos I'm working on. Again, my name is Matt, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya!